Hey everyone, as all my friends know, I am not a political analyst, but there are some things on the political spectrum that I would like to talk about from the angles that I do have a little bit more passion about, such as metaphysics, energy, archetypes, and themes. I would like to kind of talk about some big themes that I've seen going on as this kind of political election year and all of its polarization is carrying on. And hopefully to give some new insights that will tie things together and look beyond what's right in front of our face. So we're seeing the left versus the right, the Democrats versus the Republicans, and the figurehead at the front is Biden versus Trump. And so we've got a lot of contention about this kind of situation, and you've got two sides where each one thinks that they're right and the other one's wrong, and whatever side you're on, the other side must be the wrong side, right? Alright, so both of these sides are arguing, and they have both got a perspective that puts themselves in the hero seat, but there seems to be a lot of ways that really both sides are corrupt. The key component is the corruption of leadership, the corruption of government, the corruption of establishments, and so we're seeing all of that. But let's take a look at how both sides think that they're right, how they project the enemy onto the other, while really neither one of them really wants to help the collective in the best sense. It's really kind of secondary to serving themselves, which is part of the problem. Anyway, with Trump on this one side, this Republican side with Trump is really projecting a strong energy of we're fighting for America, we've got to keep America great, we've got all that kind of stuff, which is focused around this like American dream of like you can live in America and start a business and make your money and capitalism, and you can make as much as you want and work as hard as you can, and you can do anything and nothing can stop you. And it's this Wild West mentality of being an independent entrepreneurial and push forward and do whatever you want, is really this kind of Trump Republican kind of stance that we want to keep America great with making money and making progress and independence and all of that. And so what does that do? It projects on the other side. They're the bad guy because they're dismantling America. They're making everything so un-American. And that's happening by regulating the businesses. You can't do as much. You can't be capitalistic. You can't live this American dream with the other side imposing all of these regulations and rules and red tape and all of that. So the other side, the Democrats, are disintegrating the American dream. That's that side. The Democrat side is a lot less abrasive, a lot less abrupt, and a lot sexier, because it has this smooth air of we're helping everybody. The Democrats want, it's notorious for just give everybody what they need to be comfortable. It's the side that would trend, and this sounds great, and it's got some great things, that universal basic income. Everything, since things have been so hard, the government's going to give everybody an allowance, and everybody's going to get some money to get by. And we're really going to need to do that money electronically, just, do everything, and it makes it easier, and so then we can track it all. Maybe a microchip, maybe not, it doesn't matter, but we're going to give everybody an allowance, and we're going to track it, and as long as you're obeying the law and staying good under the government's wing, you get your allowance, and you get your provisions, and that kind of thing. So it's got this idea that's planned. It's got more of a plan for the people, that really sings in tune with the concept of the New World Order, which has a negative connotation, but it can also be this positive, like everybody together. But it's everybody together under the government supervision, the authorities' kind of control. We'll keep you safe and sound and comfortable, is kind of the Democratic swing. And for them then, the Republican Trump side is the enemy because they're being so disruptive. Trump is throwing wrenches in the components that help this plan. We really need these steps to come together in this way so that the people are safe, and Trump just keeps making a mess, and the Republicans keep blocking these things that would really be good for all the people. So the Republicans are the bad guys that don't want us as the good Democrats to help all the people. While the Republicans say the Democrats are trying to lock up all your freedoms and make it so you can't do what you want to. And the Republicans are the good people that want you to be free to take action and run your business whatever way you want to. So that side of the energy. But really, both of them are self-serving. They're both elite. They're both at the top. And there's no interest in dismantling the laws that have kept them there. With Trump, it is basically... you can do whatever you want with your business. You can, find the tax loopholes, make all this money, bully other businesses. Might makes right. Power is what rules. And so his is like everybody, has the power. And he's good with that as long as he feels like he's on the top. I've got the most power. Yeah, everybody do what you want. I'm gonna be the victor. On the other side, the Democrat side doesn't, it's got this, what we're doing for the people kind of thing going on. But then the people at the top, well, since we're governing and we're making all this happen, we need to secure that our good leadership is able to take care of the people. And we need to make sure that this security never gets jeopardized. And so there's this initiative that could begin that has, them, just stay safe under our government umbrella and keeping them, keeping the people like, at the top, the Biden or whoever, in positions of power, as long as they've got the bigger piece of the pie. It's not necessarily everybody equal. It's, everybody under control, this kind of corral idea, while you got the people in charge that know how to safely corral everybody. So there's that kind of split. We also see, I'm going to look at another small microcosm. I recently heard that why don't they care about all these businesses that have failed? What about these failing businesses from all this virus pandemic stuff and all the small businesses that have gone out of business while the big ones have gotten more rich? Is that a problem? What does both sides have to say about that? Well, there's been we care about it. We're going to give them loans, and we want to help the small businesses. So both of them are giving the lip service. I don't think either of them really care. On the Trump side, if a business fails, what does that mean? They were weak. They didn't make it. They didn't have their savings. They couldn't weather the storm. The small, weak businesses die, and the big, strong ones win, and it's all capitalism and whatever. Your business either makes it or it doesn't. Get strong. On the other side, all the other businesses are failing, and the Democrats, they want everything locked up, so let's not have business, which means more of it fails. So, oh no, all these small businesses aren't doing good. What are we going to do as the government? So that Democratic side is like, let's give everybody an allowance. We're going to give everybody some money. Since you can't work, we're going to give you some money. And again, it comes back, well, now we're giving everybody money. We got to track it, make sure it's fair. And well, if you're not following the law, or you're not taking your vaccine, or you're not doing whatever, well, maybe we need to cut off your allowance. So that could be part of that picture. It's this kind of disempowering everybody, and then we'll take care of you. Whereas on the Republican Trump side, it's like everybody for themselves. Do what you can do if you can do it. If you can't do it, too bad, you suck, get strong. Whereas the other side's like, oh, baby, you can't do this on your own. Let us help. Let us give you a hand. We got you. It's really soft and comforting and lulling. It's got a lullaby to it. But both of them, again, it's a selfish thing. The Trump Republican side is, who cares? As long as everybody's free to do whatever, you do what you can do. And if you can do it, great. If you can't do it, oh well, that sucks for you. That's that side boiled down. The other side is very, everybody needs some help. Everybody just come here under the safe daddy government umbrella. So they're both pitching a different flavor that appeals to different sides to make both of them look starry-eyed and glamorous and attractive, because that's part of what you do when you're presenting. The other factor I've got to touch on is with the IRS and the taxes. So we all have heard that, Trump hasn't paid his taxes, paid $750 a couple years, and who knows. And basically, long story short, has Trump been evading taxes? Well, he said some stuff like, I don't want to pay taxes, and as a business person, that's what you do. You go to your accountant, and they figure out how to not have to pay as much, and everybody out here in the real world knows that too, that has a business. So what's going on with taxes? What is taxes? So Trump's been doing that. Is Trump the only one? No, all the wealthy people that have got the accountants and the lawyers that know how to finagle the numbers and all are balancing so that they can get bigger refunds, not have to pay as much, not be accounted for their money, etc. So the first thing to understand is that Trump's tax evasion is par for the course when it comes to wealthy elite people dodging their tax contribution responsibility. So they're not paying into the system as much. And why is that happening? Well, the law. That's the way the law is. And who wrote the law? Like, why is that? Why are people able to do that with the taxes, and all the accountants and the lawyers know all of these loopholes that can do that? It's the law. The laws, all the tax laws are so convoluted and stacked that that you can wiggle in all those different ways. Well, how do those laws get there? Politicians. What politicians? Just from this last administration? No, it's been going on for a long time. All these business people have been evading taxes and hoarding money and being greedy for a long, long time. This is just all popping now. But so there are these laws that have been orchestrated. And so you've got wealthy people evading while the little people that don't have that much money or don't know how to wiggle these laws, and it's not as big of a deal, they just pay up. Just whatever, it sucks, got to pay taxes, you pay. So a lot of people just pay their taxes while the wealthy are like, how can I not pay the taxes? Well then, what is this IRS doing? Well, the IRS is going after the little people that didn't pay all their taxes, or that they that they missed something up on their taxes. So some people have had run-ins with the IRS where the IRS forces you to pay up or comes after you. But all these wealthy elite people that are dodging and evading taxes don't have a problem with the IRS because they're following the law. They're doing what's legal. It's the way everything's written. So the IRS is like, gosh golly, our hands are tied. They're doing everything okay. So the IRS is hunting down people that are small fries to force them to pay and squeeze the money out, whereas the wealthy are not held to the same standards of accountability because the law is on their side, on their favor. So then so that's the thing. So everybody that's a wealthy business person that's used to trying to get a bigger refund and pay less taxes has all been kind of participating in how can we wiggle through it. So if that's true, why would anybody that is wealthy and elite and benefiting from these laws and tax structures try to dismantle that? Why is anybody going to try to fix that problem if they're benefiting from it? And is Trump benefiting from it? It looks like it. Has Biden benefited from it? Probably. Have some other people, just corporate people, business people, politicians people with money and power, have they all tried to benefit from the tax loopholes? Yeah, might as well work it, right? I mean, you got a good person out there that says, oh, I'm going to pay my taxes the right way, but my neighbor over there, they have all this money and they found all these loopholes so they don't have to pay as much and they get to keep more of their money. Well, why should I pay it the right way and let them pay it the wrong way? I'm going to find the loopholes and do it too. So everybody's had this greed mentality of, why should I get rid of my money? Why should I support the country? So everyone that can wiggle through these, corrupt laws and structures to end up on top has been doing that. And it's gotten to the point that it's been at the collective's expense. The collective's been footing the bill, and the little people have been paying their taxes and having it squeezed out. So we've established that the IRS isn't going after the wealthy because the laws are set up that way. And they are going after the small people. And so a lot of taxes are getting paid. So a lot of taxes are going into the country, and it's not the wealthy. It's everybody else pretty much. The wealthy find ways to evade it. well, where is all this money being spent? So when we talk then, we go to the next level of taxes and tax money. If you remember back, I feel like it was like right before 9/11 when I talked about trillions of dollars went missing, and then bam, 9/11 happens, and like, oh my gosh, we've got a distraction. But there's been some talk in the past, and I am not, again, a political, expert, but the trillions of dollars that have gone missing, where are all of the unaccounted for tax dollars? And what makes it even more crazy is that tax money is not the wealthy's tax money, especially. It's everybody else's. So where is our money being spent? And why is it missing? Why is it lost? And why does nobody seem to know what happened to it? That's what we're going to get to. So I'm hoping that people will stop pointing the finger just at Trump and his tax fiasco that's just popping now, to realize that he's just a symptom of the bigger problem. And his pompousness about why shouldn't I try to do the tax, it just shows us that that's the issue. The laws have been written in that way. There's not an effort to try and dismantle. There's an effort to try to sneak in more loopholes and make it easier to manipulate the money to hoard it, and all of that kind of stuff has been what's been pushed. So as we point the finger at, well, why is taxing happening in that fashion? Why are the laws getting written in this way? Who's benefiting? As we all kind of collectively push and ask those questions, and then why is the IRS, harassing the little people? And then we get to the point that, okay, so the IRS is collecting money. Where's all that money going? As we get to that question, I think that we've got some surprises, just speculating, that we will come into about where that money has been spent. Because it's been spent in secret, in hiding, in private, secret programs, I'm thinking. So there's been a lot of stuff that's been done with our money. Someone's spending our money and we don't even know what they're buying with it. We don't even know how they're spending it. Something's not right there. It seems a little corrupt, seems a little hidden, seems a little dark. All this stuff's getting exposed. But I think we'll be surprised at some of the stuff that this money has been spent on, that's been misallocated, that has been, it's all fueled with a net of corruption. And it is not just the left side or the right side. It's a sickness, in a sense, that is greed that a lot of people have, and they're just going about it in different ways. I just think the left and the Democrats are a lot more polished. They want control. They want to stay at the top. They want to keep their power and money, but they want to at least get everybody nice and comfortable and under our wing and secure, and then reliant, codependent. You depend on the government is what happens in the Democratic utopia. The Republican utopia is, there are no rules. Wild, wild west. Do what you want. Walk on top of other people if you've got the power to do it. And fight however you want to. Might makes right. So all of that is that perspective. But neither one of them is really about others. One of them just seems to be more so. The other one's like a lot more loud in your face. I just care about myself. I don't care about others. The other one is I care about others as long as others are in control and obeying and all of that. So hopefully this is helping to kind of take a look at both sides in a different way. And really, hopefully we're getting set up to see the systemic corruption start to fall, where we're noticing, there's going to be an economic reformation. These tax issues, the economy issues, the IRS, all of that. Uranus is in Taurus, everybody. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to be reformatted with that, and things that need to be awoken. And so just enjoy the show. Don't get too angry or upset or afraid of either side. They're both big bag, ugly, scary in their own way. You can have a wolf out loud or a wolf in sheep's clothing. But let's keep our mind on what we do value, what we do care about, and kind of keep our own light bright. And don't do too much shadow boxing. There's going to be a lot of energies that are appealing for seducing us into, ooh, that's so right, or that feels good, and the other side is, ugh, nasty, repulsive, all of that anger, fear, hatred. But it's all just bubbling up, and it's something that we're all here to see loud on the stage. And if you look at it just right, it's just clowns in a circus. Sometimes it is a horror show. Sometimes it can get a little bit dark and scary. But it is really, it's got cosmic humor. There is a lot to laugh about at it all. But there are a lot of secrets, corruptions, things that need to be exposed. And anywhere that we have had leadership that has been mismanaged, those things are coming around to get readjusted. So hopefully this has not been too much or too little for any of you. Take what you can and leave the rest. And if you've got anything to say about it, I look forward to hearing any comments. Have a great one.